right, girls. So tonight we're going to be talking about a very important topic, and that topic is how to start the new year being the best version of you. Now, I thought this was a fitting topic for us to talk about tonight because when it comes to one thing, when it comes to fitness and health, everyone sort of has this new year, new you mentality, and it actually drives me freaking bonkers. Because just because the calendar ticks over to a new day, I don't believe that that should be setting all of our intentions for the year ahead. I think what we've really got to work on is setting up really good habits and really good systems so that this is just part of our life, no matter what, time of day or time of year it is. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and I've got a little presentation for you because you know how I love a good presentation. So can you guys all see that?
Yep.
Can you see the little blue dot?
Yep.
Oh, screen sharing has stopped. Oh, give me 1 second, I'll do that again. I'm getting better at this. All right, I think that's right. Let me see. Present. Okay, I'm going to stop this. It's going really well, guys. Sorry. I was all set up and then... All right, we're good. All right. Give me 2 seconds. Oh my gosh, it just closed. Oh my gosh. So much for being organized, I tell you what. I feel like I need to give you some elevator music. All right, here we go. Even put in some really cute little cartoons inspired by Sammy and how... Just having one of those days. Sorry, guys, it just closed, so I had to open it up again. All right. Now I can share with you what is happening. Thanks for bearing with me. Oh. Okay, here we go. All right, can you all see that? Yay, we got there. All right, guys, so how to start the new year with being the best version of you. So tonight, the things that we're going to cover is you being responsible for your own thoughts, both positive and negative, how to become more mentally strong, and how to assess your relationships that are around you and prioritize those who are going to help you become the best version of yourself. We're going to be having a chat about this too. How you can really prioritize yourself to make change happen for good, how to get super clear about where you want to be on life, and how to not let other people influence your decisions, and setting intentions for the year ahead. So I've got this little quote, and this is something that I've actually been working on. And the quote goes, "True power is in your life, is in the knowledge, living in the knowledge that you are your own healer, hero, and cheerleader." Now, I really want you to sort of take this on board, because the thing is that there's not anyone else out here in this world that is going to be a bigger cheerleader for yourself than you are for yourself, if that makes sense. And I talk about this a lot because if we're not going to be our own cheerleaders, who is going to do that for us? And you know what? Like I can say, I'm so lucky in that, my husband is so supportive and so encouraging. But it also has to come from within, that's not him just telling me how great I am all the time. That's not going to get me anywhere. It's all about believing and truly understanding yourself. So it's a really cool quote that I want you guys to take on board. All right. So moving on. So I spoke about this just a second ago, why I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. So I believe that habits create consistency, and consistency over time is what equals results. Now, can anyone put their hand up and agree with that? Or is there people out there that really believe in New Year's resolutions? Is that you, Barb? You consistency, or are you New Year's resolutions? That's okay. That's fine. I can't hear.
I'm consistency.
Yeah. So one of the reasons that this really hit home for me is back in the day, I used to be a fitness first personal trainer, and I worked in a gym, which was a real corporate gym, really high performing people, you know, they were focused, they'd come in and they'd go out. But even with that in mind, every year in January, the gym was packed. Like you literally couldn't get on any equipment. You couldn't move in the gym. January was always a nightmare to be in the gym. And it was a nightmare for all of the members who regularly come day in and day out all year round as well, because all of a sudden their gym's been infested with all of these New Year's resolutions people who are just there for the month. And then we never see them again. It's happened every single year. And I'm just like, that's why one of the reasons New Year's resolutions don't work, because they haven't got their mindset right first. So if you want to truly make change in your life and, you know, achieve new goals or expand your current success, it has to come from within and not just because a new date rolls around. So let's be completely honest with each other. No one wants to be a lesser version of themselves. You know, you girls are all here because you want to work on yourself. You know, you're here for, you know, losing weight and all of that sort of business, but we talk about this all the time. That is a byproduct of, you know, working on your mindset, becoming a stronger woman, you know, understanding how your mind works a little bit more. So I feel like we all dream about having the absolute best possible version of ourselves, but the truth of the matter is that only a few of us are actually willing to put the work in to actually achieve this goal. Now, does that resonate with anyone? Because you guys are all here working on yourselves. You're all here, you know, making yourselves better, working on your mindset, working on your bodies, bringing it all together. But how many people just float through this world, you know, hoping that things will change or waiting for the right day? It's just so common and so frustrating to sort of see that people do have this potential, but they're not necessarily using it. So if we have a look at this slide, more often than not, it is true that we can be our own worst enemy when it comes to pursuing personal goals, achieving success, and living the life that we actually do want. Now, why is that? I believe generally it comes down to mindset, lack of self-belief, or not even knowing the steps to take to get you to where you want to be. So in terms of this is why the mindset is such an important part of the puzzle. And that's why we're here talking about it today. So let's face it, 2020 was no walk in the park for anyone. The outbreak of the coronavirus was unprecedented and something that none of us planned for or saw coming. But pandemic aside, I feel we need to now take that out of the equation. Because the thing is it's going to keep coming back. And until there is a global vaccine that's, you know, sorting it out, we're just going to have to find a way to get on with our lives and to make this the new norm. So we can't use this as an excuse anymore for the reason why we're not exercising or the reason why, you know, we're not eating well or whatever it is. It's not an excuse. It's actually part of our lives. So dealing with the pandemic, you know, a lot of things changed. Work situations changed or pivoted. You know, a lot of people and a lot of my clients had to manage working their full-time jobs as well as having their kids from home. You know, that was really hard. Personally, I'm just going to talk about myself for a minute. I had to deal with my wedding being cancelled, which pretty much was the end of the world at the time. I also had to navigate doing IVF between New South Wales and Queensland. So while the borders were shut and I was really busy, you know, running the business and, you know, everything got closed down overnight for me for my physical outdoor boot camp business. Literally overnight, everything got closed down. So a lot of things have changed for all of us. I'm not saying, it's any worse or less for me. It's hard for everyone. But as I said, pandemic aside, I really feel like now's the time we have to take that out of the equation, because it's just going to be a part of our lives for now until goodness knows when. So the thing is that, when it comes to change, maybe, you're wanting to change jobs, or, maybe you're wanting to change your relationship. Maybe, you're wanting to lose that weight you've always been wanting to lose, which is one of the reasons you'd be here. But it begs the question, how can you become the best version of yourself? Happier, healthier, and well-rounded all round. So with this in mind, what we're going to do tonight is we're going to look at it's actually 6. I've made it 6 now. The 6 aspects of life where I believe you have to continually work on in order to become the best version of yourself. Cute little person there. Hey. All right. So 1, we briefly spoke about that, but your mindset. You really do need to become mentally strong. In today's busy world, we're full of distractions, stress, anxiety, and just generally others, life's up and downs. It's why it's more crucial than ever to take exceptional care of yourself, and especially your mental well-being. Now, of course, you probably already know this, but a sound and healthy mind is the single most important asset anyone can have. By taking great care of it, you'll be able to stay mentally strong and make really smart life decisions. Of course, cultivating a positive mindset and taking care of your mind does not happen by accident. Like any muscle in your body, the mind is exactly the same. You have to work at it to make it strong. So personally, in terms of things that I do to help me improve my mindset, is we're going to be talking in a bit more detail about some of these tips, but, really taking time to read books, that's a really big part of what I do. I don't have a lot of time, so audiobooks are what I do a lot of. I've always got an audiobook on the go, whether I'm walking or in the car, podcasts, things like that, but also connecting with other like-minded women to talk about important topics that really are going to help you grow. So we're not talking about just getting together with, some people for wine and just having a good old chit chat. I'm talking about, for me personally, I love getting together with other entrepreneurial business owners who like to talk about, different strategies for running their business and things like that. But that really excites me, because I think you all know now this business is my baby and I absolutely love what I do. And I'm always looking for ways to make it better and always looking for smarter ways. So that doesn't happen overnight. And also, running a business like this, it takes a lot of stuff behind the scenes that no one sees. And, for me to constantly get up of a morning and to be excited by what I do, it does come a bit naturally to me because I genuinely do love it. But also, as with any job, there's tasks in the job that, you don't want to do. So you have to constantly be working on yourself. So here are some tips that might come in handy to help you build a stronger mindset. So number 1, and this is a really important one, and it's taken me a long time to learn this, but control your mind and not the other way around. So if you don't get a handle on your mind, and for example, if you start focusing on negative self-talk, limiting beliefs or pessimistic thinking, and other, self-destructive thoughts. So if you're not conscious of what's going on in your mind, it's very easy for these factors to happen. So what I want you to do is, if you do notice any of these things happening, for example, negative self-talk or limiting beliefs, the first thing I want you to do is recognize what is going on. So, I just had a thought and, my thought might have been something like, I can't do that, or I'm not good enough, or, I put on a kilo, I'm so terrible. We need to work on how we can turn this around. So for example, if you were to say, I'm so disappointed in myself, it's only your mind telling you that. Instead, When you hear these thoughts, you need to find a way to turn them around to be something like this. So if you were to say something like, I'm so disappointed that I didn't insert whatever, stay on track with my food plan this week. But I have learned that to make it work, I need to prep my food the night before so my plan is in place. So yes, while you still might be disappointed, work out how you can learn from it and how you can turn it into a positive. But it is really all about hearing that self-talk in your mind. You know, you might say something like, oh, I'm so disappointed I put on a kilo. You might be like, okay, yeah, I put on a kilo this week, but let me have a really good look at my week and let me be really honest with myself as to how I went this week. What can I do differently next week to ensure that doesn't happen? So it also comes back to a lot of honesty in your own self. Now, the next one I want to talk about is surrounding yourself with positivity. So we always want to be hanging out with the people that are going to help us get over the mountain, you know, the people that are going to put their hand out and, you know, really support us to really grow and develop. So I'm going to give you a knowledge bomb here. And if you don't take anything else away from this talk tonight, I just want you to take this away. But negativity is all in your mind and it drains energy off you, which is why you need to reinforce yourself with like-minded people that give off positive vibes. I'm going to say that again one more time. Negativity is all in your mind and it drains all energy off you, which is why you need to reinforce yourself with hanging out with like-minded people that are going to give off positive vibes. So anytime you have a negative thought, that is just a thought. It's not necessarily the truth, and it's not necessarily what is actually happening, and it's not necessarily as bad as you potentially are making out to be in your mind. And I don't know about you girls, but for me, the danger zone of this happening often happens at 2, 3, or 4 o'clock in the morning. When I'm laying in bed and my mind will start ticking over and it'll be like, oh, tick, 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 I haven't done this, haven't done that, I've got to do this, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, I'm not good enough, this, that, and the other. It's like, no. A, you can't solve anything at 2 o'clock in the morning. And B, everything is workoutable. Everything. Every single thing is workoutable. And I always say to myself, look, we're not brain surgeons. And we're not. No offense to anyone, but we're not. So pretty much everything that we can do is workoutable. So as I said earlier, connecting with like-minded women is a really important part of my life. So for example, you know, within the elite coaching group, you have got a whole heap of like-minded women right at your fingertips. Your mind feeds on other people's ideas. So why not embrace those positive people around you, support each other, you know, grow with each other, reach out to each other, you know, make new friends, message each other, like, you know, be the one to reach out and be the one to start that process happening. Also think trying new things. So trying new things breaks you through that thinking ceiling and starting to think outside of the box a little bit. So trying new things generates new ideas, gets you uncomfortable to grow, and then you'll see how your mindset will change with you too. Now, I think, you know, with COVID, there's not a lot of physical things happening at the moment, but it doesn't mean that you can't get involved with different groups and things online. There's still meetup groups. There's still plenty of opportunities to connect and to try new things. The next point is practicing meditation. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I am not a meditator. I can't do it. But in saying that, what I do find is that when I am feeling a bit overwhelmed or when I am feeling a bit overwhelmed, I really do recognize that now. And I do like to take a quick 5 minutes out, take, you know, a few deep breaths, breathing in and breathing out, and just focusing on turning my negative thoughts into positive thoughts. So when I talk about meditation, I'm not talking about sitting around for 20, 30, 1 hour, whatever minutes. I can't do it. It's not me. But the 5 minute slowdown is a really good tip because anyone can do that. and it really does help. So I feel like doing these few little small exercises will help to increase your mental strength, as well as boost your spirit, uplift your mood, as well as you gaining clarity and having better ability to make the right decisions, pushing anxiety and stress to the side. That was a big number one. All right, it is a big topic though. So number two is something I love, your body, exercise and become physically fit. So this is obviously something very close to my heart. Exercise has been part of my life forever. We talk about this often, but a point I want you to really remember is that your body belongs to you and no one else will take care of it for you. So it is up to you to get your butt to the gym if you need to go to the gym. It is up to you to do your exercise at home if that's your plan as well. It is up to you to hit your 10,000 steps, because no one's going to walk up to you and say, oh, hi, Gina. Well, let's not use Gina for an example because Gina already does about 20,000 steps a day. But, let's say, hi, Lucy. Come on, let's do your 10,000 steps today. There's not a person who's going to do that for you. You are the one that has to be responsible for this. And this is such an important part of the puzzle. So if you're, and I don't, necessarily think that this relates to you girls, but I just want to stress the importance of physical health when it comes to the overall well-being of being the best version of you. So if you're not physically fit and healthy, it's very difficult to become the best version of yourself. So consider the following tips to take care of your body and achieve maximum physical fitness and peak performance. So exercise regularly. This one's a no-brainer. Exercising is just great for every part of your life. So, when it comes to exercise, you don't have to lift weights. You could go for a walk, a jog, a run, a swim. You can hit the gym if you want to, but as long as you're moving your body, that is the most important part. So regular workouts have been proven to help release happy-making hormones and endorphins. So very important part of the process. And more crucially, exercising can give you time to think as well as to clear your mind. So if you don't need to be reminded, you don't need to be reminded that regular exercise is good for your heart health. It can also help you stay fit, healthy, and enjoy your overall well-being. And I can absolutely 110,000% be completely honest with you girls. And during this pregnancy that I'm in the last month and a half, it has been really difficult for me to exercise. And I feel so, when I say I feel bad, I don't feel bad that I haven't done it because I'm listening to my body and I'm moving my body as much as I can. But for those of you who knew me before, exercise was my thing. I was like a go-getter. Now I can't even walk around the block because I'm pretty much going to pee myself the second I leave my house. So lucky for me, I have a treadmill that now is in the house and I can still walk on and get to the toilet whenever I need to. But it's really, my body doesn't feel the same. I miss it. I'm not getting those happy endorphins that I get every day from exercising. And I absolutely can't wait to be able to get back into it and smash it as well. So anyway, moving on. Number 3, nutrition, eat healthy. So remember, these are all of the points that you need to do on a weekly basis to pull together to become the best version of yourself. You can't do one and not the other. They all need to happen. So eating healthy. So your body is your home. You really need to think about treating it with love and respect. So the great thing is that you girls are all learning the skills that you need for life within this program to know how to balance out meals within the correct macronutrient approach. So make sure you use this info and cherish it forever, because this information that you're learning is not something that the general population knows or understands how to do. With this knowledge, you can do whatever you need to do with your body for the rest of your life in terms of your body composition goals. Plus, balancing out your day and getting the correct macronutrients is going to make your your blood sugar levels really even, so that you don't get those ups and downs and the spikes. And, that's just going to help you for your future health as well. So just a few little common tips, consuming unprocessed foods, eating healthy fats, omega-3s, nice fatty, good fatty fat, maximizing the intake of your veggies and your fruits, and don't forgetting rich sources of vitamins and minerals that come in other micronutrients. So, for example, tonight we had Nick's amazing spaghetti bolognese for dinner. It was amazing. I just had it with a little bit of pasta, meat, and then on the side I had a huge bowl of broccoli and carrots. Completely full. I feel great, but I'm always thinking about how I can get more veg into my day and my life. So, you've just got to be a little bit creative with it sometimes, because nutrition is such a big part of the puzzle. And I feel like this is the part of the puzzle that most people get wrong. People can go and exercise every day of the week, but they're definitely not going to get results unless they get their nutrition in check. So from my own experience, I know that when my nutrition is off, nothing else works properly. I'm tired, I'm grumpy, I'm really, really grumpy to my poor husband. I don't feel motivated to work out. And even if I do work out, I don't have the energy I need to do it. So for me, getting nutrition is more about, facilitating the life that I do want to lead. So it's really important. So the best way to think about it is that your body is the most important thing you have. Without it functioning properly, you are literally no good to anyone. Does that make sense? Your health and your body is your temple. So prioritize yourself to make good food choices. Go into the day and plan and know that you're treating your body with the respect that it deserves, with the amazing food that you can fuel it with. All right, number 4 is healthy, happy relationships. Now I'm going to share a bit of a personal story with you girls here. So if I get a bit too deep and meaningful, just tell me to stop. But people around you can bring out the best and the worst in you. And I know this because I personally have been in a toxic relationship, and I've had toxic friends in the past. Has anyone else had any toxic friends that they've had to give the boot to in their lives? Yeah, it's very, very common, but it's also very hard to do. So I can honestly tell you with my hand on my heart that the person that I was back then, and this was 10 years ago, so this was in my early 30s, the person I was back then was a shell of the person that I am now. And honestly, I would never have been able to achieve what I've achieved in life without having the right people around me. So I got married quite late in life because I was so scared by the toxic and abusive relationship that I had in my early 30s. So, I was in a very controlling, emotionally abusive relationship. So when I finally got the courage to leave, and I don't know if anyone know what, you don't have to share, but in my certain existence, I found it really fascinating to reflect back on this time, because the thing is that I'm a pretty smart, woman. I'm independent. I don't take any shit off anyone. With all of that in mind, this still happened to me. Like, it happened and it was real. And it was something that I couldn't get out of. And it was actually quite scary. So looking back on that time, like, I just want to shake myself and just say, you're an idiot, get out. But it doesn't work like that, because the second you want to get out, they try and drag you back in and pull you back in. So, even though I tried to leave 5 or 10 times before I actually did leave, when I finally got the courage and the strength to leave once and for all, I was just so happy to be on my own and making my own decisions and, not being controlled by someone, that it actually held me back from understanding and knowing that I deserve to have a healthy and happy relationship in my life. So, once I left that partner, I spent years pursuing relationships that weren't going anywhere because it meant I couldn't really get hurt. So the good news is, after many, many years of working on myself, 10 years to be exact, I finally found the life partner that not only supports and encourages my dreams, but also truly believes in me as I do him. So this doesn't just relate to personal, intimate relationships. This also relates to friends too. I've had a few frenemies in my life that I've had to cut loose, and I honestly would have no hesitation in doing that again in the future if I had to. It's all a part of the growth and the learning in the life. So, having those really, strong, healthy, happy, genuine relationships is really important to making you the best version of yourself. Now, number 5, and this is a topic that I could actually do a whole Facebook Live about, is developing a growth mindset. Now, has anyone heard of growth versus fixed mindsets before? There's a few nods going on. So basically what it comes down to is as I said, a really big topic. But to start with, they've discovered that really there is 2 types of people in this world who have 2 different types of mindsets. They're either fixed mindset, which means that their own ability is set in stone. And then there's a growth mindset, which means that their ability is malleable and that they can make themselves better by learning and growing and developing. So the actual definition of what a growth mindset is that a growth mindset is when people understand their abilities can be developed. So if you have a look at this little slide that I've put here, you can see the 2 different types of mindset. So failure is an opportunity to grow, is what a growth mindset person would think. Whereas a fixed mindset person would think failure is the limit of my current abilities. So growth mindset, I can learn to do anything I want. Fixed, I'm either good at it or I'm not. Growth, challenges help me to grow. Fixed, when I'm frustrated, I give up. So it's a really, there's 2 very different ways of thinking, and I can generally meet someone and pick straight away whether they've got a fixed or a growth mindset. It's very, very easy to pick. And the thing is that if someone's got a fixed mindset, it is very hard to coach them. So when I first start working with someone, if I do realize that they do have a fixed mindset, we have a really big chat about it, because I can't help them grow if they already think that they're as far as they need to be. If this is a topic that interests you at all, there is a wonderful book. I don't know if you can see that in the little window. It's called Mindset by Carol Dweck. It's actually a bit of a hard read. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of science and there's a lot of technical stuff in here, but it is super interesting, and it definitely helps you grow. And it's actually made me sort of think about how I want to parent my child as well, because one of the things that they talk about is that if you give your child too much praise and encouragement when they're young, they're going to sort of feel like they don't need to push themselves any further because everything is kind of coming to them pretty easily. So there's some really interesting topics in there. So I've broken it down into, I can break it down into 3 sentences. So this book is great. So the skills, in 3 sentences to break up the book, skills can be cultivated through effort. People with a growth mindset thrive on challenge, and the fixed mindset is I can't do it. The growth mindset is I can't do it yet. Super different. There's 5 big ideas in the book, and if you are interested, I'll just quickly run through them. They are: number 1, the view you adopt for yourself affects the way you lead your whole life. So if you view yourself as already knowing how to do everything, don't want to get any better at things because I already know how to do it, you're not going to grow and you're not going to develop. Number 2 is believing that your qualities are carved in stone, which is the fixed mindset. This creates an urgency to prove yourself over and over and over again, which isn't always that helpful. Number 3, people in a growth mindset don't just seek challenge, they thrive on it. And this is what I love about having a growth mindset personally, because challenges come my way every single day. Every day something new happens and I'm like, okay, cool. How can I fix this? How can I grow from this? How can I learn from this? They're the three things I always say to myself, and then I work out how to go about it. So the growth mindset does allow people to love what they're doing and to continue to love it in the face of difficulties. Now, I want to say that again because that's a really important one. So the growth mindset does allow people to love what they're doing and to continue loving it in the face of difficulties. Because have you ever come across someone who's like, oh, my job sucks, everything's going wrong, nothing's going right, blah, blah, blah. Whereas the growth mindset will be like, I had a really hard day at work. I had this massive challenge, but I came up with this solution and it meant that X, Y, Z. And how satisfying is that? You know, it's just a different way to look at things. And finally, those with a growth mindset found success in doing their best in learning and improving. And this is exactly why we're here, guys, because we're learning and we're improving on ourselves. So the main thing to understand here is that by having a growth mindset, it means that you're not only open to change, but you're excited by the prospect of overcoming all challenges in life. So that's pretty cool. All right, next is 6. Now I wanted to add in this last one because I want you guys to think about always saying yes to things that are going to help you and stop waiting for things to be perfect to take action. So this is important. So to tell you the truth, I really struggled with this concept for the longest time, but I am now someone who's getting much better at either saying no to an invitation or cancelling plans because it's not serving me to do that certain activity. So with this step, I started small. I would make plans with friends and then promise myself that I would show up and be present. But I would only say that I would go and do that if it was something that I A, truly wanted to do, and B, that was going to make me feel good. So if it's a skill, you know, that you've been wanting to learn, but you can't find the perfect time to go and do it, I want you to think about just jumping in and doing it now. You know, everyone's busy, but, you know, there might be, I've got a friend who decided that she wanted to learn how to play volleyball and she also wanted to make some new friends. So it's actually quite daunting as we get older to kind of turn up to a new group or to put yourself out there like that. But she did it and she joined a team and she's made a whole bunch of new friends. And that's because she said yes to doing something that was going to A, challenge her, but also help her grow into a new skill and as a person too. So this also relates to your weight loss and health journey. We've all said it to ourselves before, I'll start on Monday. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about when it comes to New Year's resolutions is that why the bloody hell do you need to wait till Monday when it's something that is so important to you? The time is now. If there's something that you want to achieve or something that you want to do, Monday's not the day for it. The day is today, and it doesn't necessarily mean you start doing that today, but it means you start planning for that to happen so that you can get the outcome that you want. So I've been talking a lot, but becoming the best version of yourself boils down to taking care of yourself in these 6 areas of your life. Taking care of your mind, your body, your spirit, and your relationships. This way, you're going to achieve all of the personal goals and take your life to the next level. You've definitely got this. So that's my sort of, that's my points for tonight. So what I want to do is hand it over to you girls now, and I'd love to have a bit of a Q&A with you and find out what your thoughts are on the topic that we just spoke about. So who would like to go first? I'm just going to plug in my charger, my charge. And just unmute yourself as you come on to chat, because I've been talking a lot.
I can start.
Thanks, Ange.
I know.
I
I
always count
talk a
on
lot.
you.
I know. That was really great. So much. I mean, so much resonated for me. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think the thing with me and mindset, as you know, that's probably my biggest challenge generally with respect to the TLL journey. Like, I think, this past, several months while I've been on this, I think what it's brought up in my life is, I suppose, because I'm pretty confident in my general life. I'm really confident in my work, in my career, my relationships. I've got good friends, good family, and I actually don't feel, like I'm less than. I don't have notions of negative thoughts in most of those areas, except for the obvious when something bad happens and trying to get through it. But actually, when it comes to my health and my fitness, and my own physical appearance, that's always been the hardest part for me, and that's when all those horrible negative self-talk and the limitations always come in. So I think this whole journey for me on TLL has been one where I'm actually grappling with my mindset more than anything else, and I think I've really managed to sort the food situation out very well.
Yes.
Because I've got that down, right?
You've nailed that.
I've nailed it. But what I'm now struggling with, that's all driven by mindset, is the fitness side. So, and not so much doing the fitness, but consistency of it, right? And that's all my brain saying, I just can't do it today. I'm giving myself excuses. I'll never be good enough. Everyone else is doing better than me, all these things.
Yeah.
So, but I have to say, I loved what you said when you said, what did you say? When you said, stop, first recognize that thought, you've had that thought, and then try and think about how you can change that from a negative thought into a positive thought. And I'll be completely honest, just early at the beginning of this Zoom call, when you asked everyone how everyone did, I immediately heard everybody else. Everyone had a great Christmas. Everyone did really well. No one gained any weight. And my immediate thought was, look at me, I'm crap because I gained weight and everyone else did really well. So immediately I actually wrote down, everyone else did, this is my notes, everyone else did really well. I was the only one who gained weight. Journal about how I'm feeling about this action, because that for me is what I have to now do, because I recognize, even before you told us to do it, I recognize that was just a limiting belief. And so now, you know what I mean? So I just, that
totally
is so resonated for me. All the other stuff was amazing, but I think mindset has always been my biggest, challenge, I think.
It's a really good one for you to work on, is noticing, recognizing, and flipping.
Yeah.
You don't have to flip it completely. Like, you don't have to go from I'm so crap to I'm so amazing. You might go from I'm so crap to I'm not really happy with how that turned out, but that's okay because I'm going to improve on XYZ next time. And that's okay.
Yeah. And I mean, the reality is that actually happened. Like I immediately did that. Like I knew come 1st of January. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the positive thought that I should think of, because rather than focus on the fact that I gained weight, the truth is I did change it immediately. Like from the 1st of January, I said, right, you gain weight, fine. But now is when I have to start, I start now on what I'm going to change and what I'm going to do differently. Yeah. And I did. And I have stuck with things since 1st of January. So it's all good. It's all changeable. It's all workable, as you said.
Totally.
But it's just that the negative. So anyway.
Yeah.
That's
something we have to work on constantly. Constantly.
Yeah.
Anyone else have any points from what we've just talked about? Anything resonate with you, or who'd like to chat next?
Oh, I can go, Karen. If
go, Gina.
Probably the biggest thing with me is the toxic relationships that you can have, not necessarily with my partner, but with some of my friends. And generally it's sort of, they get inside your head and they make you feel bad, even though you actually don't feel bad before you see them. So I think that's probably a good take home, and that's one of the things that I need to do basically this year, is try and put that aside and move on. I think the exercise and that mindset, I believe I've got that, and I always
Yeah.
have. That part of it's just my day to day, but I'm probably more into the food side of it and managing that and getting my head around all of that. Like, I mean, I'm pretty happy with my life. I'm pretty happy with my job. I live in a very relaxing environment that, like, even in COVID, I could have plenty of fresh air and ride my bike, ride my horses, have my animals. And yeah, like, I obviously feel for all of those people and those that you that live in the city. There's not something I could do. So if I lost where I was, then yeah, I would be half of what I am today. So I think my environment helps me be me, I suppose. But yeah, I think it's more of the people that you surround yourself with make you either good or feel good or feel bad. And I think you've got to have the right people around you.
I think it's such an important part of the puzzle, and something that we've got to not be scared of doing is cutting them loose. Because if they're not enhancing your life, what's the point? And I'll give you a really good example. I used to have a frenemy, and we used to work together. She was my boss and we became friends, but I left every interaction with her feeling bad about myself. And she invited me to go to this ball once. And so we went shopping for fancy dresses to wear to this ball. And everything that I put on, she nitpicked something about my body. And look, I'm all for honesty. I can take it. You know, if something doesn't look good on me, that's totally fine. But what I realized at the end of that day was that she was actually picking at me to make herself feel better. And it wasn't about me, it was about her. I mean, that's just one example. But when it comes to toxic relationships, they're so common and they're so prevalent in so many people's lives, whether it's friends or family or, you know, partners or whatever it is. I think recognizing the behavior is step one, and then deciding, making the decision for yourself if you do or don't want to interact with them anymore is completely up to you. And if you're not going to lose anything by not interacting with them anymore, then that's pretty much your answer. So good on you for recognizing that, Gina.
Thanks.
Who would like to go next? Do I have to pick someone out? Tracy, come on, you can do it.
I just unmute myself. Getting comfortable. I think I just have to really work on mindset. I think there's been lots of changes, and when I started this program, this was the last thing in the puzzle that I felt that I had to put together. But then something really bad happened in my life, and it sort of threw everything up in the air. And now I have to. I feel like I have to reassess. But the thing about the healthy, happy relationships, if that's one of the 6 pieces of the puzzle, and working on all the other things, I think I can see it just being a cycle now that, you know, even if I did have, you know, the exercise and the nutrition, but all those other things weren't there, I still wouldn't feel that I would have achieved what I was hoping to achieve. So, and then I've just started a list of all these things about saying yes and stop waiting. Just do it. Just bloody do it.
Bloody do it.
I know. And so I got my jet ski license and I just bloody did it. Like my sister and her husband have a jet ski, and I just went and did it. I just walked into the RTA and I just did it and I got it. So
amazing.
It was like, yeah. And so that was something that I can say, you know what, I am pretty cool. I can do that.
Super cool.
Yeah. And then I learned to ride a jet ski on the summer holidays. So yeah. And like, I want to get my bike license, and I've been putting that off for probably 10 years. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and enroll in that course and
do it.
Yeah.
Do the things that make you happy and push yourself as well. Do the things that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah, things
I think we've got Tracy on a bit of a go slow. It might come back in a second. We'll just give it a second. I think we've lost you, Tracy.
Yeah.
Okay, let's come back to Tracy
that
maybe a little
will.
bit later. What about you, Barb? Let's talk, what resonated with you tonight?
Yeah.
I've always found that with me, with losing weight, to even start it,
Hang on 1 second. Okay, we should be right now.
yeah, to even start losing weight for me, I have to be in the right mindset.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. So when I made that initial call, or to contact you guys, I did it knowing that I was already sort of ready to do what I needed to do to lose the weight and everything. So as for relationships, I've got a lot of very good relationships. I don't have any negative people in my life.
Great.
I've been very lucky in that respect. So, yeah, I don't have to sort of think, oh, yeah, I don't want you around, or
That's really
whatever.
good.
So, yeah, I'm a very, I suppose you don't think it until you sort of listen to other people and that, and you think, oh, I've got a pretty good life, really.
Yeah, that's great. It's all part of the puzzle.
It's right though, that you've got to be in the right mindset to be able to do these things. So I'm determined, and it's got me out there doing surpassing the 10,000 steps a day every day, and I actually my daughter gave me a her hand-me-down Garmin watch for Christmas.
Nice.
And she's got me in a challenge with her and her workmates, and I'm at the top.
Oh, yay!
So
Go Bob!
I'm so happy with myself. Yeah, so I just thought, yeah, you go, girl. And I kept she every now and then she sort of surpasses me, and then I'll get out there and I'll do extra steps and everything, and I'll send her a photo and say, now this is what it's supposed to be like. I'm always supposed to be at the top, not you.
I love it. Good on you. And that's a fun, healthy challenge that you've got going on as well.
So we're sort of encouraging each other. Like, she needs to do it too, and it's she pushes me and I push her, and
I love it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. What about you, Janelle? I think you're on mute. There we go.
Yep. Probably the things that resonated with me the most was, if you want to, I guess, do something, just go for it, kind of thing. And I feel like in some parts of my life I do that. And certainly doing this program was quite whirlwind, as in I literally was just looking at it on Facebook one day and contacted you, and then virtually the next day it was all just full steam ahead.
Yeah, I'm like, let's do this.
Yeah.
You know that about me, that you don't mess around.
I don't think I don't even know that I've been thinking about it. It just popped up on my news feed, and I thought, yeah, you know what, I've been, like, not completely happy, and then like I said, it just steamrolled from there, and I felt like I just went headfirst into it, which I generally don't do, is going headfirst quickly into things. I'm a bit takes me time to build for these things, but I'm proud of myself because I was really worried about how it would all go, and I was worried how I'd fit it all in with time and young kids and all that sort of stuff, but I actually think I've smashed it pretty well.
You've absolutely smashed it.
But so there was that, and then probably the only other thing was when I started to play tennis a couple of years ago, in my later adult life, I played it years ago as a teenager, and after having my second child, I wanted to get back into something that wasn't the gym, because I'm not a big gym person, and I thought, well, I used to play tennis, and that again for me was putting myself out there. I didn't know anyone that was playing tennis. It was me just like, oh, I just got to do something, and so I did. And now, a few years down the track, and I love it.
You love it.
I'm so glad I did. But yeah, and then, but then on the flip side, you know, in terms of my work, I'm not completely happy with in what I do, and I don't know what's next for me in my work. I still have young children anyway, but you know, I'm sort of not sure once my second one starts school, and yeah, so you know, that sort of, I guess, plays in my head sometimes. But yeah, that's so yeah. I guess in my work life, it's what's next for me, and how do I, you know, yeah, what do I do? Do
How
I
do you
study?
tackle
Do I
that?
get another job? But I don't want to work full time because I still want to be, you know, very much a parent. You know, a parent. I don't want to be an absent parent or,
Mm,
you know, be too busy for them. I want to be able to run them around here, there, and everywhere. So,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. So that, I guess that's for me. That's what's next for me, but I don't know
Something
yet.
to think about. That's
Yeah.
okay. You don't have to work it all out today.
Good.
But guys, just as an aside, Janelle's cardio tennis that she does, I thought you do that on, we're Thursday night tonight. She does it on a Wednesday
I do it
night.
on a Wednesday, but it's in school holidays, so we don't have it during the school holidays, unfortunately.
She generally burns in this session 500 to 600 calories per session
In 1 hour.
in 1 hour.
Yeah.
That's living the dream. It would take me hours to burn 500 calories. So you've got an awesome burning metabolism. That's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
I love it.
Carmel, I know you might still be there. Just wondering if you wanted to jump in. Oh, you're still there. Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So no, look, I thought tonight was great. I think it was fantastic. The mindset piece really resonates with me. I think, given the 12 months that I've had, you know, just with work, and also obviously impact on family and things like that, I think I've got the mindset of, well, if I've gotten through the last 12 months, we can get through absolutely anything that we are, you know, that is thrown at us.
Please log in through the Google Home app.
But I guess the thing is getting to a point now where I have permission. I'm giving myself permission to just work this out for me, just, you know, make it about me, and not like being a mum for so long. Like my oldest is 22 and then another 21-year-old and a 14-year-old plus my husband. He's just another kid, really.
Yeah,
so I've got 4 sons. I'm not trying to be horrible, but that's how it is. But,
that's how it is.
Yeah, so I guess getting to a point where just slowing down a little bit and taking the time to just, you know, giving myself permission to focus on me.
I think that's so good, because if you take the old mentality of, you know, the life mask, unless you put your own on first, you're no good to anyone else. And I feel like you're at a stage in your life now where your kids have grown up, and, you know, it is time for you to really think about yourself and to prioritize yourself, because then you're only going to be a better version for them. So it's not even, I don't know, a lot of people feel guilty about prioritizing themselves. But the thing is like I said in my talk, it's like, if you don't do it for yourself, no one is going to do it for you. No one's going to make you do your steps. No one's going to make you eat healthy food. No one's going to make you exercise. You have to do these things for yourself. And if you do, it's only going to make you better for all of those people surrounding you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. I think for me, you know, you sort of grow up with the idea of, you know, you're going to have that knight in shining armor that's going to make everything okay and create that. And my life has never been like that. Like, it's just ridiculous. But yeah, look, I think, you know, sort of taking a step back, taking some time to just slow down and breathe and go, wow, like, look at everything that I've achieved at work. Look at everything that I've achieved with the family, and going, wow, like, you've done a really good job.
So
and
good.
Yeah, and it's okay to now just, sometimes some people, like, initially it was sort of like, oh my gosh, I'm being a bit selfish, but it's kind of like, no, it's okay for me to spend some time on me now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so happy that you've realized that, because that's such a big part of the puzzle, and it's absolutely okay, and it's going to make you a better person for everyone around you, but that aside, it's going to make you a better person for yourself.
100% agree.
Well, girls, I think we've had some pretty big knowledge bombs tonight. This is the book, just in case you didn't catch it earlier. Has anyone read it? And you would freaking love this book. You would love reading this book. I know you would.
Yeah, I'm really happy that you actually gave us the details in that slide because I thought to myself, the minute you said, oh, and here's a book, I thought, okay, quickly get the details, see if I can download it. But yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
It's a hard read though. It's not like an
Mhm.
easy, like consumable read. It's a really
Yep.
hard read. You've got to concentrate on it. But
Right. Cool.
if I can get through it, anyone can get through it.
Cool.
All right, girls. Well, we might leave it there for tonight, but thank you so much for tuning in. It was really, really great to be able to talk to you girls. And yeah, it's been really great to be back and in touch with everyone as well. So we've been having a look at everyone's tracking sheets and how they've been going. So it's just super exciting to be back into it for the year, and lots of impending things happening. There will be a baby in the world very soon. So you'll probably see me on Facebook Live, like with a baby, trying to like manage a few things at once, but it's okay. I'm determined to make it work. So it's all good. So
When's your due date, Karen?
it's
When's
the
your due date?
22nd of January.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
So
we've got
soon.
about 2 weeks to go.
Wow, how exciting.
I'm feeling quite large.
Full. Just say you're feeling full.
Feeling very full and very hard. Everything's really hard, but anyway, it's all part of the fun and the process. So what I'm really looking forward to is, did you girls see my food prep session that I did the other day?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that was
Really
great.
good.
So I feel like I've nailed food prep for the first month or so of the baby's life. So at least we'll have some good food to eat and we won't be kind of snacking on crap food. So that's been really important to me to have that sorted. It took me about a week to cook all of that food. And then it took me about, I don't know, a whole afternoon, probably 2 or 3 hours to pack it all up and to write the macros of everything and to calculate everything. But hey, it's all done now, and there's a whole freezer full of food ready to go, which I find very exciting. Cool. Well, I'll leave you guys to it. Let's wrap it up. And thanks so much for coming online tonight. And I'll look forward to chatting to you all really soon.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
You're welcome.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Cheers. Bye. Bye.